right. Hello, everybody. I am just going to do a quick walkthrough here of how to build a basic resume. The Eli Broad College of Business has a couple recommended resume templates that we should all use as Spartans. And we're going to run through a couple tips here in this video on how you guys can make your resume look the best it can be. So what is a resume? The purpose of a resume is to have a professional document that is the summary of your experiences that you can show to employers when you go out and apply for jobs. So this is the template here. How you guys get to this. First one I do want to mention is the WMA. We do have a couple links here on the WMA website. So if you go to our member resources, go to our Google Drive, that'll take you right here. And we have two resume templates that we're going to go through today. There's one, the resume template for first year students. So this is freshmen, and then anybody beyond their freshman year, sophomore and above. So the other place that you can find all of these great resources, and a place that we're going to spend a lot of time here, is the Russell Palmer D2L community. If you are currently in Eli Broad or in the RBC, you have access to this community. If you're not in Eli Broad yet, what you can do is email the Russell Palmer Center and they can get you access. So this is where we're going to spend a lot of time. So we're going to dive into the D2L folder here. Tons of great resources under the content tab. We're going to mostly focus on the resume sources today, but if you see here, tons of great stuff. There's how to build a good LinkedIn profile, cover letters, some interviewing techniques, managing offer letters, all this kind of stuff. So the Palmer Center has done a great job building this out. First one is the ideas page. So if you're a freshman, if you're somebody coming in staring at that blank sheet of paper, like I know I was, it can be a little intimidating. So here's just a couple slides to kind of get the juices flowing, so to speak. These are the things that should be on your resume: internships, jobs, if you've had some research experience, freelance work, you've been in student groups, you've volunteered. This is where you get started. Another big one I want to highlight here is the bullet samples. So it's the common bullet samples for a lot of common jobs here at Michigan State. So you can see if you scroll through this doc, I'll zoom in a little bit. These are a lot of campus jobs that students tend to get, a lot of very generic bullet points, so to speak. So if you've maybe worked in the resident hall at the front desk, there's a few different examples of bullets you could use. Lots of other things here for different jobs all around campus. Some volunteers for VITA, Breslin Center ushers. So this is another great little document in the last one I want to highlight before I jump into the two templates is the action verbs folder. So I know when I was building out my resume, building each bullet, I use this quite a bit. You can see when you start to type up all your different sentences, you might be repeating yourself quite a bit. Again, I know this is something that I did. So this is an awesome place to find different words that you can use, different action verbs, in analysis, communication, all these different things you can go through and kind of use them at your leisure to help improve your resume and help it look its best. So those are the big ones here I wanted to talk about today beyond the two resume templates. So the first one is the first year template for freshmen, people who are just coming out of high school. So I've got that one pulled up here. And I'm just going to walk through this one at a high level because it's not too much different than the one you guys are going to see after your freshman year. Big difference between the first year resume template and anything beyond is high school experience. That's what you need to remember. On your first year resume, you can have your high school experience and your GPA, everything right here, as well as a lot of the things you did throughout high school, maybe some of the activities you were involved in. But it's important to keep in mind, as soon as you get to that sophomore level, as soon as you leave your freshman year, you want to start taking anything from high school off of your resume and developing it into a more advanced format. So we're going to move on here to the template beyond freshman year. So this is the Vmac. It's called the Vmac resume template. If you guys look on the D2L folder, and as you can see, it looks very similar to the freshman year one, the first year Spartan one, but big difference is nothing from high school. So diving in here, what I want to start, I want to start at the top. So as you guys can see, you want to make sure that you have your name. Right here, we have Spartan, okay, get a job. You can have your address here. You want to make sure that you have your phone number, your MSU email address. That's very important. Make sure there's your MSU email address. And then if you have a LinkedIn profile, which everybody should have a LinkedIn profile, if you don't yet, definitely go out and create one. Add a link to that right here as well. When you apply for a job and you have your resume sent in, one of the first places they always look is LinkedIn, and having this at the top is just the best place for them to be able to find that. So getting past that, we always want to have, when we are in school, education at the top. One of our most valuable assets being Broad Spartans is being a student. I know that you might not realize that, but it is very important to communicate that you are currently in school. Bearing that you are a current senior, freshman, sophomore, whatever your grade in at the bottom of your resume is not a good thing. Any experiences that you might have, as awesome as they can be, they don't compare to the power of you being a young college student at the beginning of your career to a lot of these people who come to recruit at MSU. So I just want to make sure I'm highlighting that, because I have seen some people when I'm working for the Career Center put education at the bottom, and that's just a big no-no. So we see here, you want to make sure that you include your major. If you do not have a major yet, it's okay to put business preference, or maybe in finance or supply chain management after that. And then if you have a minor, you can put that underneath as well. Make sure that you're putting your major GPA and your cumulative GPA on here, as well as if you've been on the dean's list the number of semesters up here. So study abroad, not everybody's going to have this. Frankly, I don't have this, but this is, again, you want to make sure to highlight this at the top, because these are key educational experiences that really you only get the chance to participate in college, and you want to make sure that employers are seeing those right away. So diving into experiences here, this can be the intimidating part for a lot of people. I know that this is what took me the most time, and this is very personal depending on the individual. So to keep in mind with building out your resume bullets is the acronym WHO. What did you do? How did you do it? And what was the outcome? A lot of people do a great job with the first two. What did you do and how do you do it? And then kind of drop off when it comes to the outcome. It's really important to tell a story in each one of your bullet points to make sure that you're saying, this is what I did, this is what I accomplished, and this is why you should care as an employer, and this is why I'm putting it on a resume. So when you're developing these bullet points, use the action verbs. So I'll go back to here. As you guys can see, the action verbs in the D2L community. You can use those, as well as just your own personal experiences. So I know for me, I quite literally downloaded this document and I used it right here from Word and inserted my experiences as well. So you want to make sure you have related experience here. So in terms of formatting, as we can see, related is experience. That's in terms of supply chain management, because this person's a supply chain intern. And even you can see tax intern, that's related to this person's business profession. And in terms of other experience, these are some great experiences that could add value, but may not be related to the professional world. So we see like a student cook and an exterior designer. So somebody, working in lawn care. So these are great experiences. You definitely want to have them on your resume. But as you can see, you can kind of break them up into related and other experiences. So last one here is the activities, honors, and skills section. This is where you're going to put any student involvement that you have had, any fraternities, any volunteer experience, anything of that nature. So one thing I will highlight as well is something special. And again, this is not something everybody will have, but if you speak two different languages, you want to definitely include that on your resume as well. So this is the recommended resume format for the Eli Broad College of Business. All of us awesome Spartans should definitely have our resumes in this format when we are applying to jobs. Formatting is very important. Like I said, when recruiters are looking at resume after resume after resume, and they see Broad Spartans resumes, and if they see that your resume is not in that format, it unfortunately might get put in a reject pile through no fault of your own. So it's very important to have your resume in this format moving forward.